All right. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. It's really great to see your faces here at this wonderful Belvedere property. And on this beautiful Sunday. I think there's still going to be some people coming in, but I want to get started with the service right now. So before we get started with the songs, just a couple of announcements. The first one is I just wanted to share some pictures of the we had this big cleanup project yesterday where we cleaned up the parsonage, the White House, and if you saw the emails going out, we were also raising money for this project, and we raised almost $2,000 to give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for all those that contributed. Because of that money, we were able to get this massive dumpster that was like almost the size of this wall to that wall. It was this huge dumpster. It was about twice my height. And we filled the whole thing up. It's incredible. We really had about 40 volunteers come to the White House yesterday. Both young and old. We had Messiah. We had a lot of youth come from all around District 2, from New York City. You can see that's the dumpster in the beginning, and that whole thing was filled up. Actually, we had more than enough stuff to throw out. Actually, we still have a big pile in back of the house that we'll probably have to get another dumpster for. But really, just did a very deep cleaning. Making it a really fresh space that we can then use for more activities for our youth, our young adults, but also anyone in the community, our members here. If we want to hold seminars, we want to do education, we want to hold meetings together, the White House can be a place where we can use it for those kinds of things. You can see these are not even all the volunteers. A lot of people came in the morning that had to go before this. Some people came after this. But yeah, just an amazing effort of people coming together. We really couldn't have done it without all of these brothers and sisters coming together. So anyway, I just want to thank everyone who supported with your prayers, with your financially, or putting your energy and coming to the cleanup. So again, give everybody who supported a round of applause. Thank you so much. And another announcement is, as most of us know, we've been doing service every other week. So the next service is going to be September 12th, but it's going to be a kind of special Sunday service where it's going to be more of a discussion style service. And actually, it's going to be facilitated by our very own president, Naokimi. So he's going to be coming here, and he's going to help to facilitate a discussion and also to answer questions that people might have about what's going on in the Providence. So I really want to encourage everybody to really mark your calendars for September 12th. And also, it's going to start from 3 o'clock, so not 4 o'clock, but 3 p.m. And we'll go till about 6 p.m. And it's possible that we're going to plan to have some food afterwards, just to kind of fellowship as well. So please just keep an eye on your emails to get the full word on what's going to happen that day. But yeah, we really want to have as many brothers and sisters come as possible. If you can mark your calendars for that day, and if you see anybody around and say, hey, did you hear about the 12th? Our president's coming. It's definitely a time that we want to come and attend our national president and also come together as a community. One more announcement that we have, I want to welcome up our sister Masaya Joseph. She has a couple of new programs that she's offering her time for the community. If you can come up, let's welcome up Masaya Joseph for this final announcement.
Hello, everybody. Okay. I am going to facilitate 2 book clubs. One is Matching Handbook, and it will start September 18th, 9 a.m. And I'm thinking to continue every third Saturday of a month. And then it's try to be like a year-round, and then year-round event, and then read the matching handbook little by little, and then sharing and Q&A sessions. Q&A doesn't have to relate to what we are going to read, but it could be like where can I find matching worksheet, or how can I contact other family, or whatever, or I need some encouragement, or I need support, whatever it is. You can commit like entire book, or you can just show up and then ask questions. That kind of book club. And also another one is Real Love in Dating book club. It's going to be starting from September 25th, and it's just only 5 sessions, and I'm going to ask a small fee for this. And you can learn real love principles, which prepare yourself for long-lasting, fulfilled relationship. And I'd like to make this group to be wise men and wise women support group too, if you know the content. You don't have to know the content. You're gonna learn, so it's okay. Yeah, Dr. Young was talking about a few days ago, like it starts from external and going to the internal and going to more internal. So if you know the skills, you have like some way to go deeper. And then if you go deeper, you can find God in your relationship. So it's very important to learn skills. And oh yeah. And this event is gonna be a guest-free event, so it could be like a door to introduce matching and blessing. I'm not gonna talk about any religious things, just to introduce the book, but it might be good to invite any single person. It could be parents to so that you can learn how to support your children. So thank you so much.
Sorry, Masai-san, when does it start again?
Next September.
Next week, September
18th.
18? Okay.
And 25 for Real Love.
Okay, so September 18 for the matching handbook and 25 for the Real Love course.
Yeah. Is it only in person or online?
It's online. It's on Zoom, right? Yeah, okay. So yeah, if you're interested in one of these programs or both of the programs, please see Masai-san. And yeah, I'm just really grateful for Masai-san stepping up to offer something that she feels very passionate about, creating a program for us to really enrich ourselves in what she's learned. So thank you so much for that. And I just want to check if there's any other announcements, any council announcements or anything? Yeah.
Do you want to reveal the names?
Oh, the new council members. Oh yeah, okay, let's do that. Okay, so yeah, we held a council election recently, and we had nominations and voting all happened online. So thank you for everybody who participated, whether you nominated, whether you were nominated, or whether you voted. Yeah, this is really a community effort to create a council that really supports me, the pastor, and also the community as a whole. So the new council members are going to be, drumroll please. Okay. So the first one is going to be Yuki Jones. So let's thank Yuki. He was our, he's not here today, unfortunately, but he was our former youth pastor for many years. I think about 5 or 6 years he was the youth pastor. 4 years? Okay, 4 years he was the youth pastor. And now he's going to be joining the council And then another one is going to be Heijin, Yukawa. Her new last name is Yukawa. So yeah, she's also unfortunately not here today. But yeah, Heijin has been an incredible support with the up and coming and with the youth and also young adults. She's really someone who cares a lot about this community. So we're really grateful to have her. In addition, so we had these 2 second generation, and then we also had 2 first generation, right? The other one is Gary Hillier is going to be another joining. So Gary Hillier, he's been a member for a long time and also supporting the Providence at headquarters with in the payroll department. But also, yeah, this is his first time, so he really got inspired, and he wanted to offer something for the community and really step up in that way. So we're really grateful to have him. And the final person is that's right, is Uncle Peter Reiner. Woo! Yeah, and yeah, I think we all know Peter Reiner. He's been on the council several times before. Actually, I've been on the council with him. And anytime he's on the council, he really contributes a lot, and he has a lot of insights and a lot of sense of how the community is doing. So I'm really excited to work with this new council. So yeah, let's give all the new council members a round of applause. Thanks so much. Should we say the outgoing council members? No, okay, we'll do that next time. Okay, so I think that's it for announcements. So let's get into the songs. So I'd like to welcome up Raul and the rest of the song team to lead us in some songs.
Welcome, everybody. Good to see new, young, mature faces we haven't seen for a while. Welcome to our brothers and sisters watching via Skype. We're going to begin with, on this beautiful day, the song that kind of binds us to our true Father, Sailing with Our Father. We're going to go to sea and sail with our true Father. So let's all rise and sing with gusto, Sailing with Our Father. If the trip you're traveling gets long, wishing for a new day to come, when the sun rises in the morning, we'll set sail and move on, and we'll be sailing with our Father. No, his ship will never sway. Oh, you hold on the horizon. We found the promised land today. Look out the joy in your eyes. The winds of truth will guide our way. Leaving behind the raging sea. Waves of love will sail away, and we'll be sailing with our Father. No, his ship will never sway. Oh, you are on the horizon. We found a promised land today. Darkness that always turns to light. The promised land is inside. He's our guide, star by night. And in the day, our bright sunlight. Everybody, sailing with our Father. You know his ship will never sway. You hold on the horizon. We found the promised land today. Sailing, let's go sailing. Sailing with our Father. land today. We found the promised land. We found the promised land today. One more time. We found the promised land today. We found the promised land today. Thank you. The next song we're going to sing was actually written by True Father when he was in Pyongyang. I'm not sure if it was when he was in prison or if he was just in Pyongyang, but it's one of the most beautiful songs that's ever written. Oh, the Lord has come. Let's sing it together. Oh, the Lord is come. Oh, the Lord is come. He has come to the country of God, shining in glorious dawn. Here is our leader and Lord, filled with our Father's light. His word into the purpose of God. Beautiful fatherland, welcome the Lord. Come, let us sing and rejoice. Hallelujah! Sing it out. Hallelujah! 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 The Lord is come. Oh, the Lord is come. He has come to the land of the pure, blessed of the lost and the blind. Here's our leader and king, bringing our Father's way. Bringing our fathers, shattering evil and sin, shattering evil and sin, building the kingdom of God, building the kingdom of God. Beautiful fatherland, welcome the Lord. Come, let us sing and rejoice. Hallelujah! 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 Hallelujah. Sing it out, hallelujah. Oh, the Lord is come. Oh, the Lord is come. He has come to the mountainous land, there with treasure untold. Here is our Savior and God, showing the Father's heart, lifting us high with His joy into the glory of God. Come on, my brothers. Oh, my brothers, and welcome the Lord. Come, let us sing and rejoice. Hallelujah! Sing it out! Hallelujah! 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 Amen. As you can see, True Father is smiling. He's very happy that you sang that song. Thank you so much. Let's go on to the next song, 10,000 Reasons. Bless the Lord, O my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before. I'll worship your holy name. So sing like never before because we're praising God. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never seems like never before. Oh, my soul, I'll worship your holy name. You're rich in love and you're slow to anger. Your name is great and your heart is kind. For all your goodness, I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, I'll worship your holy name. And on that day when my strength is failing, the end draws near and my time has come, still my soul will sing your praise unending. 10,000 years and then forevermore. Bless the Lord. Sing it out. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul, I'll worship your holy name. Bless the Lord. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh, my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul, I'll worship your holy name. I'll worship your holy name. I'll worship your holy name. Amen. Thank you so much. You may be seated.
All right, let's get over to song 2. All right, please join me in prayer. Most beloved Heavenly Parent, we thank you always for your love, your kindness, your goodness, and we're so grateful for you each and every day. And I pray that those that are struggling can somehow find greatness and thankfulness for you. So I really sincerely pray that we can all come together to connect with you and be in one with you. So I give thanks to those that are here today, the Belvedere family community, and we're all excited to hear what our dear pastor Justin Okamoto has to share with us today. And I hope that we can leave here feeling inspired for the week or for the day or anytime. So I'd like to report this prayer. And my name is Dr. Coney, daughter of Natalie Coney. Listen to your family, Audrey.
Okay, thank you so much. Actually, I'm not going to be the main speaker today, but today, actually, I really wanted to have a service where we can take some time to reflect on our experiences with our true Father. As many of us know, we just recently commemorated the 9th anniversary. You can see right here, right? The 9th anniversary of his Songhwa. Songpa is what we call kind of the funeral, the passing of our father, Father Moon. I really wanted to take some time also just to hear the amazing experiences of our members here. We have no shortage of members that have deep and personal experiences with Father and Mother Moon in this community. And I'm sure that, more than half of the people sitting here have an amazing testimony to share, actually. But we're going to have 3 testimonies today from some amazing brothers and sisters. The first one's going to be from our brother Masahisa Kobayashi. The second one will be from Mrs. Jeannie Kagawa, and then finally from Dr. Walsh. So each one will be giving about a 10-minute testimony, and then afterwards we'll have some time for our own personal reflection and communication with our Father, our true Father, who's in heaven with us right today. So for our first testimony, I'd like to welcome up Mr. Masahisa Kobayashi. Just to introduce him briefly, he came to America in May 1976. This was just about 1 week before the Yankee Stadium rally. And he, when he sent me his bio, there's just so much that he contributed to the Providence. So I'm just going to pinpoint just a few points. In 1976, he started working at the daily newspaper, News World, and published by the News World Communications. In 1979, he was a CARP leader at Columbia University. And then from 1984, he had various roles in the business realm, our providential businesses. He was the financial manager of Happy World Group, the CFO and vice president of International Oceanic Enterprises, and the vice president of True World Group. And then since 2005, he's been working very hard, and the Kobayashi couple have been working very hard in their Heavenly Travel Messiahship activities. So I'm really looking forward to hearing Mr. Kobayashi's testimony about his personal experiences with True Father. So let's welcome up with a big round of applause, Mr. Masahisa.
Good afternoon. First of all, we don't have so much time, so just let me start. I came 1976, and at that time, my wife was already here in America. She came to America maybe 2.5 years ago, and at that time she was working for East Garden. So she had some good experience of this garden, especially a lot of, give and take with father, of course by Max. Because I think because father speaks Japanese, so this is maybe good advantage. Anyway, she came as a part of 777 Japanese wives to American Providence. So father called 777 wives, maybe about 50 or 60. Anyway, came to America and working everywhere in America. But one after another, the husband began to come to start family. And father kept asking my wife, when your husband coming? Push him to come, no matter what. Yeah, he's busy in the newspaper or business in Japan. So not important. America is important. and finally I came. And usually, a small guy like 777, 30 years old or something like that, don't have a chance to greet father. But because of my wife's connection or something like that, anyway, he kept saying, when her husband coming, so I had a chance to meet father. At that time, of course, is no new building and East Garden, old building. And as you can imagine, Father was so serious and busy meeting. In the middle of meeting, somebody told Father, Omito Kobashi came and want to greet. And the Father stopped and he saw me. I made a deep bow. And of course, I don't want to disturb and nobody wants. So I quickly left. Maybe no more than 1 minute. But at that time, Father so much made big smile. And of course, he didn't say, but I can see from his expression, oh, I'm glad you came. I'm sure he welcomes everybody who comes to America, or Japan, or England, or Africa, or Indonesia, or wherever members come. I'm sure Father is so happy. Anyway, so this is the beginning, and after Yankee Stadium, Father gathered all Japanese 777 couples in the East Garden. And Father took us to Greater Adventure and the Six Flags, and so on and so. But after that, this is a good part. The next part is very hard part. Father gave a very serious speech. You have to have the same feeling as I had in my heart on December 18th, 1971. This is the day Father came. Father first stepped his foot in the American soil. Of course, as bearing the new mission, of course, Father came a couple of times before, but this is just part of world tour. But that day in particular, you have to have a same feeling as Father had. So this is a very much strong impression. And Father said, when I came to America, 1965, America is a very strong nation. People have very strong confidence and sense of pride and mission. And America is fully responsible and strong enough and willingly enough to take care of the rest of the free world. Invasion from communist power. But simply 4 years later, he came to again and looked at American atmosphere, the members were people, like regular people's world. This kind of strong sense of mission and pride is already lost. And even said America cannot be responsible by myself, by America itself, rest of the free world. This is American, feeling. Father was so much disappointed that at the same time he felt very strong sense of mission that we unification soldiers take full responsibility for the world mission, centered upon unification principle. So this, and the Father said, this is the beginning. You have to go to each state. You know, wife side, maybe 2 years experience in America, some minimal conversation may be possible. Husband newly joined, like I said, I came to America 10 days ago. Some longer person, maybe 3 months ago, 2 months ago. There's no way to expect to have a good English ability at all. The Father said, language is not important. Important is the heart. I said, oh my gosh. Heart is more difficult than language. So I'd rather study English than study heart. Even now, you know, every morning devotion, we are learning heart from Dr. Yon. You repeatedly say lecture, but for some reason, we cannot really make this hard to for myself. So English is much better. In other words, going to pioneer each state is not so easy task at all. So about 50 couples gathered. That's why 50 couples gathered means each couple, each state. And I was alone. Why? Because my wife was working inside of East Garden. So he couldn't attend this meeting. I don't know if I was lucky or unlucky. Anyway, I was all by myself. So Father said, stand. So Father brought everybody to outside, like front yard of, or the house, and stand and line up. And Father made a summit one after another. Okay, your couple go to Alaska, your couple Texas, go this way, everybody. And finally my turn came. And Father looked at, okay, you step aside, wait. I don't know if this is a good sign or bad sign. And finally, everything finished, and he came to me, and you start newspaper business. I'm planning start newspaper, daily newspaper, and you have to have first edition. In other words, first newspaper should be published first day of next year. In other words, we have only 6 months. Is it possible? Almost, it was possible. It turned out to be possible anyway. So I had one nice American brother whose name is Mike. Unfortunately, he's now a little bit off, and I hope he'll come back soon. But anyway, he left temporarily. I hope temporarily. Okay. Anyway, at least he is very young, spiritually and physically both young. But for some reason, Father assigned to be the newspaper, working with me. So we too started their newspaper. At least good point that he speaks good English, of course. He graduated from American University. So I have to depend upon him totally. Anyway, so after the meeting or something, because when Father met my wife at this garden, and he said, "Oh, I gave your husband a new mission. Your husband doesn't fit to security guard. The security guard with big frame and ready to fight. I'm totally opposite." And I think he was disappointed. I don't know what wrote. He was expecting some good guy to be a father security or something. But anyway, I could not live up to his expectation at all. So, but Father gave me a newspaper mission. Maybe more difficult. I don't know. And it's amazing. My wife answered to Father. Instead of saying thank you, she said, "Oh, my husband needs a security guard to protect himself." What a nerve, joking back to Father, it's crazy. But Father, laughed loud, laughed out loud. So I think Father didn't get upset. At least I can tell. Anyway, and maybe next day or something, Father, of course, could read my mind. Usually you get a new mission, education church, of course, what is my able figure? Who is my able figure? What department should I belong to? Where is my office? So of course, it's a natural reaction. Father could read. And Well, Kobayashi, I am the president of the newspaper. So no matter what, please come to me. You know, it's really terrible, terrible. Because I had no experience. If I'm a big leader like Kamiyama or some, Reverend who, it may be okay. But just one, young 777, how come I have to report to father? Well, there is no person between myself and father, no person. So I had to go. Since, of course, father uh, said, father said, come to me. Of course, I have to follow. I went. And there are so many things to decide. Name of newspaper, what the corporation should be non-profit or regular profit corporation or C corporation or regular. There are so many things to decide. Name of newspaper, father already gave the name World Daily News. But we found that it doesn't work. There is already New York Daily News. So maybe too similar or and it doesn't work. Father understood. So we gave some name as a choice, but father definitely insists this newspaper name should have a word in it. And one time it was so and so, we didn't know what to say. And father finally decided, news world. What do you think, news world? And everybody said, okay, it's wonderful. I don't know if they thought wonderful or not, but anyway, they said wonderful. At that time, Mr. Saronen was the president of the Education Church. Was there, happened to be there. And Neil, what do you think? That's what I said. That was Mr. Saronen said, Neil said, oh, wonderful, yes. So we decided, temporarily decided, and went back to the lawyer. The lawyer makes research, it's okay, it works. So we decided. And the company named, and I said, this newspaper is not like a non-profit newspaper or anything, regular commercial newspaper. That's what I decided my father. That's why we started. And there's so many things to say, but 10 minutes is not enough. But any point that what father said to me, sometimes if translator there, of course he spoke in Korean, and he translated in English, so that Mike can understand. But sometimes no translator, father didn't care. He just kept speaking Japanese. And oh Mike, you don't understand? Why don't you study Japanese? This is father. Anyway, so the point that the father gave a guidance, especially about newspaper, Vietnam War, the best example that father want to explain to you. Why Vietnam was defeated? Because Vietnam lost ideological battle. This is the fundamental reason. That's why ideology is extremely important. That's why we should have a strong strategy. Already, father was not happy at all about President Nixon victory. Because he said, we look to the nation threatened to defend itself, not asking foreign power. The Asian problem must be taken care of by Asian. This kind of Nixon doctrine, father so not happy, not because of Asia. But because America is not strong enough now, well, America is not like I said, he came back to America 1969. Already he felt and he learned America lost the spirit. So this is the Nixon doctrine is one of the best example of father that made father made father happy. Anyway, ideological battle is very much important. Important to me. This is essential. So New World is this kind of strategy. And I was not really worried about America because I came from Japan, very small country. America is great and rich and powerful country, and I never ever dreamed that America should be afraid of communism. I think most of Americans may have the same feeling, but father is very unhappy. That's why, and father met former President Eisenhower. He is a great American president before. Father gave the preach. You should be most stronger. Communism is very sneaky. America should be stronger. This is the essence that the father gave the preach to Eisenhower. And the reason why he started newspaper is to educate America so that American get a victory in the ideological battle. So this is the father's father's purpose. And thinking about this, he already has sent each 7 Japanese couple in each state. This is also same. So newspaper or witnessing whatever you talk about, same. Further, just one strategy is the ideologically strengthen America and bring American confidence back. And he want to make America great again. It's not Trump. It's funny. He want America great again. And he said 50 years before Trump said already. And yeah, unfortunately, I don't want to repeat, but he went to, met Nixon and have a good time, pray together. But Nixon was not strong enough to. He resigned. He was so much sad and disappointed. Anyway, I don't want to just keep going. I think it takes a couple of hours, so I think more 10 minutes. Okay. Thank you. So the point that everybody, especially at least Japanese 7 members, woke up by father's strong message. And this is the thing that I appreciate. And I'm sure father did same thing to America and all brothers and sisters from all over the world. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Kobayashi. That was amazing. Yeah, I'm sure you have so many stories to tell, and I think that was like 5%, maybe 2%. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so our next testimony giver will be Mrs. Jeannie Kagawa, and she also has a very huge repertoire of amazing missions that she's done for God's Providence. But currently she's working as a director of the executive office of UPF International. So let's welcome up Jeannie Kagawa.
Justin. If anyone asked me who is true Father, I would answer, He's the living God. I hope I can get through this testimony. If I can get through this testimony. First of all, He's cosmic. I joined the church in France in 1969 when we had 4 members. And I met Father in May. That was October. We all went to Germany to meet Father in 1970 in Germany. And when we were in a big auditorium, and when Father walked into the auditorium, he turned around and he just warmly went like this and greeted everyone. But when I saw his face, there was this energy that was in like 360 degrees circulating from his face and then going through the whole room. And I thought, this man is universal. I mean, if he just loved people, it would be like a linear kind of thing, right? But this energy was just emanating from his face and going through the whole room. And I remember I just saw that. And I broke down and cried and sobbed for 3 days. I couldn't stop crying. 3 days. So Father is, to me, he's cosmic. And he's the living God. Anyway, so he came to France after that, and they asked me, the central figure asked me to be the one to clean mother's room, and Father would go out and go sightseeing in Paris. And when I walked into the room, I saw his bed had 2 pillows. He moved the pillows, his pillow and mother's pillow, in one place, and in the middle he had, excuse me, in the middle he had a baby pillow there in the middle, and I thought, okay, Father and Mother, they want to travel with their children. That's why they always put that baby pillow in the middle, and I thought, okay. But the pillow was very charming. So what I did when I was making the bed, I took this pillow and rubbed it on my cheek, and then the spirit world was accusing me at that moment. You unworthy, whatever. You really unworthy girl. But how dare you touch that pillow, kind of thing. And so Father came back from sightseeing, and then we were all in the hallway because he had to go to the airport, and so we were all there, and then we made a deep half bow. But really, I saw Father's face, and he looked at me, and he looked so serious and so penetrating, and it was so disarming. I couldn't even look up after that. What happened? Because I had done that pillow thing. And so that was really, that made me so mad at me. It was so serious, really serious, penetrating look. And anyway, so Father went to the airport, and I went back to the room, and then I saw that Father left the pillow behind. And I was shocked out of my mind, and I thought, oh my God, I thought God was, judging me, the spirit world was judging me. But that was Father's love for this tiny member. I was only a few months in the church. It's really, unheard of that such a huge leader like Father would just love this little tiny member and leave behind that pillow. So, and then I understood that Father had seen through me when he was looking at me, and he saw my thoughts, and he felt my emotions, and he looked through the spirit. I guess the thing that I've had that experience many times. I'm just telling this story to say it, that Father's keen perception of the invisible, meaning people's thoughts. I know many members in the sermon, you have a question and Father's answering that question and looking at you, his keen perception of people's mind and heart and emotions. So it's unparalleled, I feel. So anyway, I have Catholic ancestors that love to accuse, as you probably noticed through the testimony. So God gave me that huge experience, but the backside of it is that Satan can tell me how miserable I am. Because compare me and Father, Father's just like this universal figure in my mind. And, I'm just like a little piece of sand in the desert, too small to compare, cannot even compare. So if I was reprimanded by my central figure or something like that, I was always accusing myself. I lost so much weight during that time. Honestly, I couldn't eat well, and I was under extreme self-accusation because of Satan's voice. I was listening to Satan's voice instead of God, honestly, and because I was such a tiny member, I didn't know better to do that. And later on, Father called us to go to America to be on IOWC. So of course we were Americans, and myself, Tom Ward, all those people, Claude Perte, we all got on the airplane. And we came here to the Belvedere Training Center, and I think the second day or the third day that Father was speaking, he just happened to be angry that day. And when I'm facing anger, it's all going to be like this. And also, when I walked into the room, there's only the second row. I could just sit in the second row, kind of in front of Father. That was the only chair left. So I sat there, and Father was so angry. His title was Cain and Abel. And I forgot what about Cain and Abel, but it was about Cain and Abel. And so here I was in the second row in front of Father. And I got my head down. I'm the Cain, I'm the worst Cain. Father's mad at me, that kind of really extreme self-accusation. And so there were these two voices. There was the Satan voice, which I was quite familiar with. And then there was another voice that said, no, he's your father. He's your father. You can't be afraid of your father. You have to look at him straight in the eyes. And that was the hardest thing I could do. It took all my courage. I guess it's courage. I took all my courage to look at him straight in the eyes. And so it was 1, 2, 3. And then I raised my head and looked at Father straight in the eyes. And then he was, walking around the stage, and then he turned around and he looked at me straight in the eyes. And then when the two eyes met, I was thrown out of my chair. It's like somebody was like boom, and then boom. I was, thrown out of my chair in Father's direction. And my eyes were like, what happened? And I'm like going wide-eyed, shocked. But I saw that Father also was shocked and surprised. It's like, doesn't he know what happened? Didn't Father know what happened? He was shocked, and then he turned in this direction, and his face was just blushing, and he was red in the face, and he was surprised, and I was surprised that he's surprised. And then I realized at that moment that the other quality of Father is that he's actually a most humble person. And I think we could not, because in order for that to happen, he had to be, he didn't know that it was going to happen, obviously. He had to be zero in front of God. And I think God wanted to save me from my extremism in the self-accusation. God wanted to save me through Father. And then that's why it happened. And so when the eyes met, also a lot of love coming from Father. And so I just, that was a really overwhelming experience for me, and I'll never forget it. And that's why I say, to me, Father's a living God, because he's zero in front of God. And then God wanted to save me from my own self, from my own extremism, and used Father so powerfully. I mean, I can't even describe it. And he saved me. He actually saved me. And I never went through that ever again. That, extreme self-accusation, and my Catholic ancestors must have all run away at that moment. Catholic ancestors love to accuse. They really do. All those whipping in the monastery and all that. Anyway, so I always say that one of his qualities is also unsurpassed humility, because nobody has been able to be that zero in front of God. I mean, you try it someday. We always cheat and compromise with what God is trying to tell us to do. And then the other point that I want to share is that I feel that Father's a very mysterious person. I had a central figure who was kind of favored by Father all the time, and she was often in meetings with, male leaders and everything. Father always gave her favor because she was very successful. And she was in a luncheon one time, and then Father really turned on her and scolded and scolded and scolded her in a loud voice of scolding. And then she thought, wait a minute, I didn't do that. No, I didn't. And everything Father said, no, it wasn't me. No, I didn't do that. And then she turned a little bit, and then she thought, no, he's the one. He did it. Not me, this person. Everything Father said, yes, it's him. It's him in her mind. And then she, as Father's really, really scolding her very, very harshly, she realized that Father did it on purpose because she could take it. She could take the scolding, but this person could never take that kind of scolding from Father. But he needed to have that thing corrected. And she also realized that Father was doing it finally. When she saw this person, and he was the one doing all this junk. And then I just, and I've had people like even someone taking care of the garden here at East Garden told me one time that Father gave one direction at one moment and then gave an opposite direction for the same thing. And then what he did was he figured out what the direction really was, and then it was very successful. So somehow, instead of saying, "Oh, Father, why was Father wrong? That was wrong. I didn't do it. I didn't do it." I think I consider Father extremely mysterious, and you don't know. Sometimes he'll act like he's kicking somebody out or kicking them away, and then everyone thinks that person is finished. But in Father's mind, it may be a warning. But in our mind, it's a declaration. Father made that declaration. This person is like that. Okay, we all have to unite with that and really, push back on that person. But it might be for Father something quite different because we didn't pray about it. We just said that must be a mistake, or we didn't know the environment. We didn't know the people that were there. You can read it in the Hundegate sometimes. Father's making these strong statements about someone, but you don't know what's the environment, who is there, and what's Father's real intention and motivation. And I never saw a leader who was able to do that. That's another unsurpassed element, I think, that Father exemplifies, that he really is mysterious. And we don't really know what Father's true intention could be. So we always have to pray about what Father decides. But I was really happy when my central figure shared that story with me, because she really had the relationship with Father to figure it out, to pray about it and figure it out and not take it personally in front of all these other leaders. She was just really scolded very, very harshly. So anyway, those were the four main elements. When I think of Father, I think of those things in my mind, and I wanted to share it today and give glory to Father for being the living God. He really is a living God to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Jeannie Kagawa. That was so beautiful. Really, I just felt your longing heart for Father, how much you wanted to really honor him, and how much love you received from him as well. Okay, so we have one more testimony for today. And this is a man that I think needs no introduction. We've seen him on the Rally for Hope many times, and he's really someone who's given so much for the Providence and for God and True Parents. But I'd like to have us all welcome out with a warm round of applause, Dr. Thomas Walsh, Chairman of UPF International.
Wow. Anyway, thank you, Reverend Okamoto. Wonderful to hear from Mrs. Kagawa. Beautiful. You got through it beautifully. And Mr. Kobayashi. Anyway, 777 couple and 1800 couple, and now from the 1982 the Madison Square Garden. I made a few slides, and Of course, I hope all of you saw the anniversary celebration. It was so beautiful, and messages from wonderful VIPs, Newt Gingrich, and Chairman Hong of the Sanok Peace Prize Committee, former president of the university in Korea, former president of Kosovo, and President Goodluck Jonathan from Nigeria. So the people that really Father touched and changed their lives, just as True Father changed our lives. As I was preparing for this, one of my experiences, and I can't go into it, but I had the privilege to, when UPF was started, it was in September of 2005. And then right after that, True Father announced a 120-day speaking tour, 120 country speaking tour. And I was asked to join that. And at that time, Father had his private plane. And so it's a group of about 10 people, 8 or 10 people that are traveling with True Father each and every day a different country. So you get to see Father's lifestyle and True Mother. Father and True Mother are there together, and you're living you're on the plane together in a small place. Every time Father used the men's room on the plane, there's one men's room, and sometimes the flights, and he walks right by you, sometimes stops to chat. Maybe you're sitting there with Peter Kim next to you, or Dr. Ju or something. So really beautiful experiences together, meals all the time together with true parents. This was one in Taj. Where was this? Switzerland. Up on, maybe Mr. Chapman was there too. I sat down next to Father, and normally I don't touch Father. You don't do that, right? But somehow I reached over and just gently touched his leg, and he grabbed me, like that, and pulled my hand, and was just, and that happened once or twice. One time he was speaking at a conference. He was sitting at the main round table with about, and I think at that time Hyung Janim was sitting next to him when he was president of the church in those days. And I remember I went over to talk to Hyung Janim, and Hyung Janim's here, and but Father kind of grabbed me and hugged me or something. So he definitely had this uncommon love. You think, like Jeannie, you think, oh, I'm really terrible. I shouldn't approach Father. I shouldn't talk. But even sometimes you get close and he wants to embrace you and love you. We think of Father as the true teacher and the truth teacher. Mr. Kobayashi talked about ideology. And he taught us these essential teachings. Even you think today, the kind of simple, basic elements of ideology. One of them is male-female. It sounds so simple, right? So simple. But you think you can speak that ideology today? No. In the world or the public schools? No. Or that? But it's a simple ideological point. A subject-object, this terminology, and kind of good, purposeful give and take action. So these are the essential building blocks of ideology or worldview, or what we all learn. That's why we're here. Just like Ms. Kagawa said, there's the cosmic Father. And many Christians, there's the cosmic Jesus. There's a differentiation between the Jesus or the Christ of faith. It's talked about in the Jesus of history. What was Jesus like historically? Most people didn't meet Jesus in history, but have experienced, even St. Paul had a conversion experience of kind of Jesus after Jesus had passed away. So he's been our teacher. We're in this room because of True Father, and some way, not necessarily because he witnessed to us, but we heard what Father is teaching, right? we heard this and we went, oh, my goodness, I didn't hear this before. Something's touching and kind of getting into my heart that didn't happen. And not only the teaching, it's not just that there's a voice behind the screen and you're hearing words, but then you have this person teaching you. And many of us had these experiences with this person that, wow, this person also is somehow conveying this truth, whether it's the person that witnessed to you or your first lectures or your first workshop. So you began to see the kind of people, or I began to see the kind of people that Father attracted, raised up. So the experiences, yes, they're of Father, but they're of his teaching, like the fruits of Father, his ideas, and they go, bingo, this is making sense. And then it's people. Oh, I didn't meet people like this before. And they're living together, they're working together. So these are Father's fruits. One of the things, Father's fearless. I joined in Los Angeles in 1975, and Father came there about 3 times while I was a young member there. And when he would come to the Pasadena house. I don't know if any of you have ever been there, but it's kind of the Belvedere of Pasadena, California. It has a garage, smaller garage like this. I remember when Father came to speak, he walked in and he ready to speak, but then he totally turned the room around and had somebody bring in a kind of a stage like this. You would see this subjectivity of Father. The second time he came, I remember I was a CARP member on the UCLA campus, and at that time we were starting to get persecuted. You learn this aspect. It's not just these great teachings and wonderful people, but there are strong opinions that are not favorable to us. And in fact, the Los Angeles Times was reporting, and we were in the small living room with Father, and I asked something about these news articles, thinking Father would be, upset, or maybe he's shaking with some kind, this was big, it seemed to me. And Father was just full of joy and happiness and love. Like this was nothing to Father. He was moving forward and he saw the future. And this negativity was not impacting him. So I had many experiences of that, but thinking of that aspect of Father, of his fearlessness, no time to waste, always moving quickly. 2 simple examples. After Lausanne, I went to UTS, and Father would come there frequently. And sometimes for fishing, we would fish in the lagoon. And Father would teach us how to catch these carp by hand. You would close off the lagoon and they'd be everywhere, and you'd wade out into the mud and stick your finger into the mouth of the carp, grab it, and then take it out. It was that kind of, once you got the hang of it, it was great. But, when I went there, he met with us, and at that time he selected the students. And he even gave us missions. He gave me a mission. He said, you have to plant roses here on the campus. So me and a guy named Jeff Gladhill, we were develop a rose garden. But he would come and we'd meet in kind of Father's dining room, we called it. And David Kim would translate, David S.C. Kim. And one time we were kind of gathering, Father came in and they were kind of very excited talking to each other in Korea, didn't understand it. And Father was kind of very upset. And then David Kim explained that as they were driving up to UTS, they were behind a slow-moving car that was not moving fast. And when they finally passed the car, they found a lane where they could pass this car. And they looked over the car, and the person driving the car had a clerical collar. Father was so angry. How could any religious leader, any Christian, just ride leisurely in their car? And he said, I want to ever see you as graduates of here moving slowly. Another time I was here in the other house at East Garden. It had been a super long day and long leaders meeting. And somehow I missed my ride, or I was waiting for a ride. And Father, everybody had gone. I was kind of say where the lobby there, not the pink couch room, but the lobby near the restroom. And Father I didn't know if he had gone to bed, but some of the leaders had gathered in the fish room, where the dining room. But they were meeting in there with Father. And I was just kind of waiting. And then suddenly this person is like, I think they had slippers on. I could hear them running down the hallway by the pink room over towards the bathroom. And Father comes running around to go to the toilet, quickly goes to the toilet, and then runs back to that dining room. And I thought, and this is like, maybe it's 1 a.m. or something. Because it's not only the prominence, but I think he also loved being with those people there. He cherished that moment. You're the only person in the room. I mean, you both refer to that. Somehow Father we all had experiences where Father was speaking or whatever, and it was, you're the one I'm speaking to. Now, maybe the whole audience, but somehow his eyes looked like they were on you sometimes for a long time, that he was raising you up or speaking to you directly. And anyway, going back again to UTS, I had an experience where, anyway, I'll make it very quickly, but the day before Yankee Stadium, my father died. So I couldn't go to Yankee Stadium. And I had to go home to his funeral, like immediately. And even my mother was there for a workshop for parents of new members that was being held at the New Yorker and but then we heard my father passed away. We went immediately home, and that was May 30th of 1976. And then when I was at UTS, my mother came to see me in 1979. And so she didn't get to go to the Yankee Stadium. She didn't meet Father, but we were standing outside the lecture room. It was Columbus Day, and Father suddenly decided to come up so I could briefly introduce my mother to Father. It was a beautiful moment before he went in and gave his Columbus Day talk with Dr. Kim. Then maybe it was in the spring or a few weeks later, we were sitting out on the hillside by the pond, and just, the students, and Father was, in a wistful mood. He was sitting there calm, and, I think he relaxed at UTS in those days. And it was, the autumn leaves were all falling, and he was saying, this is kind of a melancholy year. And then he asked me about my mother. Oh, your mother was here. And I met her. And he said, where is your father? And then I explained, oh, he passed away just before Yankee Stadium. And he said something like, he indemnity for God's providence. But at that time, I even the kind of care that he seemed to show for my father and his passing and my mother was more than what I had for my father. And I felt judged in a way that he had that capacity to love and kind of like being attuned to life. Many of us are on a dull level of experience, right? We try, as Mr. Kobayashi said, we try to develop our heart, but this kind of, or in music, there are these geniuses, right? who are the Mozarts. They're somehow, and Father's like that. He wants you to achieve. He wants us to succeed and encourage us and wants to see us flourish and grow. Again, at UTS, he selected a small group to go to graduate school, and we met with him in the I keep looking at Mr. Chapman because many of these were in the old house there in the living room, and Father talked to us directly, about 10 of us, and asked us to go on to graduate school. So in many ways, if I look at my life, he really prepared me to be able to do everything. I haven't done it well or perfectly, but whatever I've done is because he raised me up and gave to me the skills and the opportunities that I have. The blessing, we all receive Father's blessing. Where Father taught us the importance of marriage, that it's the most significant spiritual act that we can be involved in, the most important and significant. And I remember the struggling during the matching time. I didn't know what I was supposed to do because Father was saying, who wants this type of person? And I had never thought about that. I thought you just go in a big room and Father. So I was wrestling with that, struggling with it. But then, at one point, I felt this kind of overwhelming peace in my heart. And at that point, Father called, I think he called the people that he had asked to go to graduate school, and with some other UTS, and it was a group there. And just thinking of the moment of the matching. And, when I saw who he had picked for me, I thought, I felt like, I don't deserve this, or I better do it quickly because he may change his mind. This is too good for me, And like something good happened and quickly moved, so we quickly walked out, and we passed Mother, and Mother goes, good match. So anyway, how Father has touched our lives. Oh, this was my slide I just talked about, so we'll have to move quickly. The other thing, I say the master convener. What does Father do? Whether it's Mr. Kobayashi or Jeannie, he just constantly brought people into rooms to teach and educate. He convenes the world every single day from morning to night. Some are small. You're in a car with him. You're in a small airplane. But he's convening and teaching. And that has been his life. And I compared, in the Bible, we have the moments of Jesus, of the Sermon on the Mount, or the Last Supper, or the marriage feast of Cana, these moments where Jesus was in groups. And anyway, that this concept of Father constantly bringing people together, being always ahead of his time. He understood the dangers of communism, when we were completely blind in America, many of us. And even he would talk to us about China, and in terms of the whole broad geopolitical scene, and about the Asia-Pacific era. He saw the destiny of Christianity, and of the need for interfaith, of the United Nations. Always way ahead. This was what caused many people to have struggles, because they had to catch up. I do believe the world will catch up to Father, and I believe it's happening. And through Mother, that what Father has taught, these core basic teachings, they have been lost by much of the world, and they're looking for a community that embodies them. And I think that's what our movement is going to be able to successfully do. And the world, as it starts to, and the democratic world is really struggling at this time in history, and Christian civilization itself and Christian culture is very confused. So I believe that people are going to take notice more and more of True Father, and of course, True Mother's making that happen. A lot more to say, but Reverend Okamoto, thank you for giving us this chance to share a few words. We love you, Father. We miss you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's get up for Dr. Thomas Walsh and also all of the testimony givers today. That was amazing. Yeah, I just felt we really could see so many different perspectives of who True Father is, and you know, there's just so much more and more deeper we can get into understanding Father's life. I think there's you know, we can never truly understand everything, but we're getting more and more deeper. So next, we want to have some time to for ourselves to reflect on our own relationship with Father, to maybe just express your gratitude to Father. Just talk to him as he's here with us, right? He's in heaven, you know, watching all of us, wanting to be with all of us. So we're going to take about 5 minutes. We'll have some music. We'll have a slideshow playing. If you'd like to watch the slideshow, you can, or if you want to just close your eyes and talk to Father, that's okay too. So let's take the next 5 minutes in unison prayer. Thank you so much. Aju. All right. Thank you, brothers and sisters, so much for coming out today to really take this time to honor our true Father, to remember him, to really praise him, and just feel him in our heart. Because we celebrate his passing once a year, but really, Father is always in our heart, and we always need to keep Father's spirit in our heart, his love for all of us, and love for the world, and the truth that he shared needs to be with us all the time. And we're just, anyway, I'm just so grateful for everyone who shared today. We could really feel Father's heart through what you shared. So before we close today's service with some songs, there's one special announcement that I did want to make outside of the regular announcement time, because it's kind of a special announcement. I wanted to take some time to introduce our new youth pastor. As I mentioned, we had Yuki Jones, who served our community for the last 4 years. And just wanted to welcome up and really appreciate Stephanie Diaz, who's stepping up as our new youth pastor for the Belvedere community and really for the whole district. So let's welcome her up. And yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie Diaz. I am 21 years old, and I don't want to speak too long because, anyways, we just had very beautiful testimonies being shared with us today. I'm just, in general, very grateful to be able to inherit something like this from our elders, right? And so, in sitting there and listening to everyone and share their testimonies, I thought, what is my main responsibility as youth pastor, right? And of course, it's to direct our youth, to really help in some way, whatever way that may be, as an elder sister, to really show how to connect to not just our heavenly parent, but our true parents, right? I think that's something that's generally expected by the youth pastors, at least within our movement. But in hearing these testimonies, I also think what I'd like my responsibility to be as well is to also help our young people connect to you, right? I see a few young people here, but I primarily want this message to be to my elders, my first-gen aunties and uncles, right? Those who have led their majority of their lives, right? For us to be here, right? For me to be standing up here. And so I think, just wanting to share this vision with all of you, that our youth are really here to inherit from you. So I'm just very honored and privileged to be here and to serve as the Belvedere Family Church youth pastor. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. We're so grateful to have you, and we're really here to support you as well. Okay, so to close our service, I would like to welcome back up Raul and the song team to lead us in some songs. Let's welcome them up.
So that was really a very beautiful Sunday service with our elders. I wish time did not exist so we can just hear more and more. But it's so beautiful. Because we feel so close to true parents, to true father, just by that few minutes of just that small iota of your testimony, we want to close by singing a song of unity, a song of love, Tongil. Our cherished hopes are for unity. Even our dreams are for unity. We'll give our lives for unity. Come along, unity. Unity, saving the people. Unity, saving the nations. Come here, weekly unity. Come along, unity. Thank you so much for this extremely beautiful Sunday service with our true Father and our true parents. May God bless you all and have a great week.
Thank you.